questions from the skills as well. Like I mentioned, SQL queries and joins. He
Hmm.
asked me questions on joins. He asked me questions on commands, SQL commands and queries. And yeah, the entire interview was very smooth. Change your field, like go into a technical field. Then I said that I realized that lose this opportunity. So my I joined my interview call, and suddenly my laptop was not responding. Like my voice was not audible to the
Hello and namaste everyone. This is Kuldeep Verma and you are watching KD Content. Today we have a Samyukta Shaji and this is the second part of the video. We also have a first part of the video in which we had covered the internship opportunity and the suggestion that our senior had given to us and the materials that are very important for the duration of the placement. And in this part, we have to cover the journey of the placement of Samyukta in the EXL services. And the main thing is the rejection that she got rejected from a 2 to 3 company, and after that she got placed in the EXL service. So during the rejection, what happened is that there are mental stress created in our mind. There is also peer pressure. So in this particular video, she explained that how to manage that all the peer pressure and the mental stresses. So let's start with the Samyukta.
So yes, Kuldeep, we were talking about things that we need to have in a resume are like from the beginning we need to. There was a session that we conducted for the chemical engineers, like our juniors.
Yeah,
That was about building a resume. Resume building session was there. So in that session also we discussed about what are the important elements that needs to be fitted in the that needs to be get on the resume. Like we really need to have internships. Either you are going for a core company or a non-core company, you must have internship in that domain.
yeah,
And second thing was about projects. So you need to be really thorough with your projects. You need to have at least two technical projects in the domain that you wish to work.
hmm,
And the third was like course fairs or your technical knowledge, like your skills. So you need to have all these things really prepared in your resume. And your resume is like your sword. It's like the weapon that you have to take to the war. You
yeah.
cannot go without resume. You cannot go to a war without weapons. You cannot go bare hand. So resume is the most important shield and sword of your war. So yeah, you need to be really sharp with your resume, like just like your sword. Just ace through all the obstacles there.
So till now, what I have to learn from you is that apart from these skills, apart from the technical skills, we also must have a good friend circle, and we also have to know
Yeah,
that how to motivate ourselves when we not selected in any company. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the main thing I learned.
So as I told you, the things that I was not prepared for
Yeah.
was the peer pressure and the fear of rejection. So
Okay.
these two things I would really tell my juniors and the coming people who are going to sit for a placement. Like these two things, nobody will tell you, but you will
Yeah.
experience these things on your own. And these are very natural things. You do not have to be fearful of these things. You do not have to give up at that point. I know many of my peers who even thought of giving NOC just because they were not getting placed in some company. So no, it's not a matter of NOC or anything. You don't have to be fearful of not getting placed. You are in NIT Raipur, or in if you are confident that you have gained enough skills and you have done enough hard work, then your hard work will give you a result, a fruit. It might take some time, just like some fruits. Some every fruit has a season. Like apple grows only in the summer season, or
Yeah.
yeah, guava, they have winter seasons. So every fruit has a season. Just like that, your results, your hard work will have a season, will have a company. We were casually saying, some people, like we were talking among our friends, that some companies, they are like, it's very miraculous how some companies just come for some people.
Yeah.
Like uh, like us, Kuldeep, like we got placed in EXL. Before that, how many companies we gave aptitude for, and how many companies we gave interview. Even in my case, I gave interview for two companies. Like I got rejected from two companies, and then it was EXL, that company, that was the, maybe that was the season that was for me, as
Yeah.
my hard work has a fruit. Yeah. So, and getting rejected from two companies was not easy. The first
Mm.
company that I got rejected from was like a was again an analyst company, and I was very very confident about my interview. How confidently I gave my interview. I even qualified my first round of interview and got to the second round of interview. I was expecting that I might get placed in this company, but as I can all say, is it's a matter of luck, and I was really disheartened by the results that came out after my first rejection.
Yeah.
And then again, I picked up myself. I just started preparing. I brushed up my skills. I did some mock interviews again, and then I sat for the next interview, like
Yeah.
the next company that came. But again, my interview, I faced some unlucky consequences, and I got a rejection again. And it's I'm all I can say is facing a rejection is not easy, but things which are not easy, things which are great are often not got easily.
Yeah.
So maybe it was my destiny to get placed in EXL. And yeah, my hard work and my luck, everything by the grace of God, I got placed in EXL. I'm very happy about it. I'm really happy about it. We're talking about why failures are important.
Yeah.
And it's important because, success only gives you ego, but whereas failures makes you humble. Failures makes you humble, and they also teach us to stay grounded, to stay focused on what's coming next. Success gives you a sense of immortality, like you start believing, you start feeling on cloud nine. All these things are very good. It feels good for a short term, but what failures teach are, they are ephemeral. They stay for us throughout. So failures are really important part to they are actually the stepping stone towards success.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I have to say. That don't be afraid of failing. Don't be afraid, because there's a very famous quote that Ratan Tata said, that ups and downs and obstacles are very important in life, because even a straight line in an ECG says that you are not alive. So
Yeah.
by the time you are alive and kicking, you have to be facing lots of ups and downs. Your life has to be a roller coaster ride throughout.
Yeah. And what
And
I also think is that we have to learn more from failure as compared to the success.
yeah, because failures are actually lessons. They are the best teachers that teach us that giving up is not an option,
Hmm.
but staying focused and working hard is the only way to success.
So now we move towards the questions that in your interview of EXL, the question that are asked by the interviewer. Should you share some questions so that our audience will know?
Yeah. My EXL interview was one of a kind interview, because it was really completely an unexpected thing that happened to me. So I would like to share what happened. So the first thing that happened during the screening was my aptitude. So the results of my aptitude came on 19th September. I even remember the dates very clearly till now.
Yeah.
So it came on 19th September, and I was really happy to see my name in the shortlist. So I was now preparing for my mock interviews and all those skills that I have learned so far. So during my interview was scheduled on 27th September. So before 27th September, I was preparing for my SQL. I was brushing up my skills. I was going through my projects that I have mentioned in my resume, because I was completely making myself thorough with all the things that I have mentioned in my resume, my skills, my projects, my internships, every single detail that I have mentioned in my resume. I was very thorough with, and I was making sure that I do not fumble there. I do not miss any point that is really important, that is relevant for the interview. So that was my first step in preparing myself for the interview, like getting thorough with my resume. Second thing was getting thorough with my skills and questions that will be asked during the interview.
Yeah.
And like our training and placement cell has given us a very good opportunity, that they have collected some of the interview experience sessions in a form of document. Like
Hmm.
they have created a drive link where we can get the documentation of people uh, who have shared their experiences. Yeah, experiences there. So I was just going through their experiences, and I got to know that the EXL interview will have a technical round and one HR round. So for the technical round, I started preparing for I already was prepared with the puzzles that were available on Geeks for Geeks and Guesstimates.
Hmm.
So now what was my next step was to give mock interviews. So again, I gathered my group of motivated friends, and they started taking my mock interviews. I think I gave 2 to 3 days of mock interviews, and I was really confident with that.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to get some of the questions that were asked in my mock interview to for that they were repeated in my original interview as well.
Hmm.
So that was one very good point to me. Yeah. And during the day of the actual interview, like on 27th September, when I was giving my actual interview, my first interview was my first round of interview was scheduled at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So I was sitting in my CC. I was sitting in the CCC, which
Hmm.
is the computer center of our college, of our campus. And that day, that particular day, the internet connectivity went. I don't know what. It just did not work that day. It
Hmm.
was not my day again. I don't know what to say, but I was really again very terrified that, oh shit, what if I lose this opportunity again. All these things were going on in my mind, but I decided to stay calm on the outside, and I said no. Okay, fine. Whatever is going to happen, and I'll face it calmly in a very poised manner. I'll stay calm. I'll stay relaxed. I'll stay focused. Know this. I do not have to lose this opportunity anyway. Just because I panic, I cannot lose this opportunity. So I joined my interview call, and suddenly my laptop was not responding. Like my voice was not audible to the interviewer, and I just pulled out my earphone, and I was communicating on the speaker of my laptop. But
Okay.
because of that, I was not able to hear the questions of the interviewer clearly. They were able to get my voice clearly, but their voice was not audible to me.
I mean, there
So
are
I
lots
was
of
like,
problems during the interview.
yeah, there were like huge technical problems that I
Yeah.
faced that day, and I was just going to tell the interview that I'm sorry, sir, I could not hear your voice. Suddenly, boom, everything went like my entire call was disconnected,
Hmm.
and only two questions were completed by that time. And when my when I was going to give more questions, was going to ask more questions, I got a call from the interviewer, and he said, "Okay, Samyukta, we'll be connecting you again."
Yeah.
So I was really embarrassed, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry for the inconvenience that has been caused." And I was like, he said he was a very kind gentleman. He said, "No, Samantha, I can understand all these things happen.
Hmm.
You try keep reconnecting on your laptop."
Okay.
So sometime later, I got reconnected, and my interview went very smoothly after that. And the questions that he asked were one. He started off with a puzzle that was like, if you have two jugs of 5 and 3 liters, how will you calculate 8 liters? This
Hmm.
was my puzzle. Then I had one guesstimate, and then I had then after the guesstimate, it was completely technical. Like he was asking questions based on my resume, like the projects I mentioned. He was asking, why did you choose to do this particular project,
Okay.
and what were the things that you learned from this project,
Hmm.
and what were the technical skills that were required for this project, how did you get to know these skills. And then he asked me some of the questions from the skills as well, like I mentioned SQL queries and joins. He
Hmm.
asked me questions on joins, he asked me questions on commands, SQL commands and queries. And yeah, the entire interview was very smooth. And then finally he asked me that, why do you, like being a chemical engineer, why do you want to shift your change your field, like go into a technical field. Then I said that I realized that it's a completely different scenario for a chemical engineer, but I said that even chemical engineers are very good analysts, and they can do anything, any wonders like they want. And this is something I'm really passionate about doing. So
Hmm.
that's why I to do a change in my career shift. And then he said, again I was like completely um, apologizing for the inconvenience that was caused during the interview. And again he said that, okay, fine, don't be disheartened, just make sure that your system is okay within the next half an hour. So when he said that, I was like in a kind of relief. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that this interview was going to be a hurdle for me because of my technical inconvenience that I faced. I was quite relieved, and I was hoping that my name will be shortlisted for the second round. And within 15 minutes, my name got shortlisted for the second round.
Hmm.
And the second round was again technical come HR. So again, I was bombarded with the technical questions and some technical questions, and guesstimates and puzzles were also a part of it. And then
Hmm.
again, my second interviewer also asked me the same question, that why do you want to have a career shift?
Hmm.
So again, I had the same answer that I'm very
In the
passionate
evening,
about.
you will get a result.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about being a data analyst and a business analyst, and analysis is something that I enjoy doing. It I believe that it's a mind engaging thing.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
how I decided. That's how I faced my 2 rounds of interview, which was amazing. And the interviewers were also very gentle. They did not even consider my technical problem or technical problem that I faced during the interview as a hurdle or as a major problem that could get me rejected. So all and means after getting selected, like the results came on the same day.
Hmm.
My interview was over by in by like around 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
Hmm.
and by 4:30 we got the results. And by the time when I got the results, I realized that it's not the problems that you face or the obstacles that you face during your journey.
Hmm.
It's important that how confidently you put forward your points, how confidently you speak, how effectively you put your thoughts across the table, so that the interviewer is able to interviewer is able to neglect every other thing other than just focus on what you are saying. So
Yeah.
it's really important to be confident and just be yourself. Like, do not panic at that moment, do not think anything else other than the interview. I had a lot of things to think about. Like, I had my laptop not working, my earphone not working, my internet connectivity not working. I had multiple things to worry about. But what I chose at that time was just to focus on my interview, my preparation that I have, that my hard work that I have done so far. I was like completely uh, at that time I was completely devoted to giving this interview best, my best. I had to be my best during this interview. I had to stay calm, I had to keep smiling, I have to present myself in a way that my interviewer does not see anything other than myself, like my skills and my communication. That's
Yeah.
what I thought during the interview. Even facing so many troubles during the interview, I was able to ace it. That's one thing that I learned from that interview.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm so happy to be selected in EXL.
Yeah. The last question that I want to ask is that how you feel after your selection and how you celebrate that thing. Means.
We were in the class, Kuldeep, as I can say. Do you remember that we were screaming and jumping with excitement? Like, we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
placed, we got, yeah, each one of us. Like, we were 5 people from our class, and we were so happy. We started hugging each other. We were jumping, and like we were completely on the cloud 9 when we were so happy about it. It's one of a kind experience, getting placed from your campus. It's really very, it's kind of something which will give you so much content with your life. Like, yeah, something.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I think we have to wind up this session, and I
Okay.
have to learn a lot from you, Samyukta. And I also and I also think that our audience will also learn a lot of you from you. Like there are lots of content. If I continue like this, na, I think it will take a 1 more hour for this. So I have to wind up this thing. Should
Okay.
you say something to our audience? Like you have to give some guidance to
Yeah,
them.
I would, yeah. I would, first of all, I would really appreciate your efforts in making this wonderful endeavor. And I think that with this, I am very sure people who are watching this and who are in in a line of preparing for their campus interviews will really be helpful. Like, they'll really get a lot of benefit from watching your videos, and you are doing a really great job. And I feel really glad to be a part of this amazing journey. So thank you for inviting me to your show, and all the best to you. I hope this journey of your reaches and touches lot of heights and lot of success.
I'm also thank you that you are coming to this session. And I also thank you to all the audience for watching us. And if you have any doubt and if you want to ask doubt from Samyukta, and I mention an Instagram link below in the description box. You have to connect with Samyukta, and whenever you find her in the college, you also ask from her. So
Yeah, sure. Happy to help always.
thank you, Samyukta. Thank you, everyone.